Up next on Usala Media, American Immigrant, with your host and comedian, Che Guerrero. An immigrant himself talks to people who have come to America in pursuit of their dreams, but due to the changing atmosphere of America, describes how they are maneuvering through these turbulent times.
Welcome to another episode of American Immigrant. I'm your host, Che Guerrero. The last episode of the decade.
Oh,
that's why I was very excited to do this episode and have you all here, because it's the last of the year, the decade. So we can talk about.
Think about it's the new decade coming. That's
Everybody's been doing those Facebook pictures, so now they got our faces looking young and old. So now they know what we look like. But I'm gonna go around the room real quick and
they
introduce
got me
everybody.
in that, by the way.
I did it. I did that.
too.
I did it too. I did it too.
I don't do that.
I shut down my Facebook actually a couple months ago. So
You shut it down. All right,
shut it down.
let's start down with the man who just shut down his Facebook. Kapil.
Yeah, what's up? My name is Jordan Kapil. I want to give a shout out to Che for not telling me there's a video segment to this.
Yeah, sorry.
It's like, yo, you want to do radio? In my head, that's like all audio. So like, I literally pushed my dog off me. I was like, Zelda, move.
We can see.
Let's go.
And now I feel bad that I didn't tell people that this is on camera, so everybody
I come
comes
here,
in.
it's like, you didn't even do your hair. I was like, I didn't know I had to.
We should have been prepared. Like,
Yeah.
I know. Let's keep it going. All right, our one of our regular hosts on this show was so lovely to speak to her last month, Chantel Brown.
Woo! I do this like soundboards. Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
She does her own sound.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
And let's introduce our other recurring host, because last time we combined forces and we haven't had a chance to introduce it. Julie Vera, a one-woman shop everywhere she goes.
What up? Hi, guys. So, if you're watching the live, Che is trying to take up the whole camera.
Oh,
so
shoot.
that's
Okay,
why
I'm
I'm
sorry.
all up on your space.
No,
That's
please.
why.
Come
Just so
on
you
in.
can know.
No, I don't want to hug the spotlight and everything.
Yeah, we know. You was already talking about getting your cheekbones sculpted and stuff, so.
Mira, este.
Like I was saying, every time you go in into a studio, they never care about how cute the guy looks. So I'm just saying. So go ahead, take up all the space.
No, I'm just kidding. I just want you to know why I'm on top of you, Che.
They were worried about you two. They didn't say anything to Che and I sitting here.
No, yeah, right.
They didn't say anything to us.
Oh man.
Yeah, Kapil, that's how you're gonna look? All right, cool.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
We high definition getting that dog hair.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
worry. So.
Got it.
It's texture, y'all. It's texture.
Oh my gosh, so that's a lot going on for this week. Anybody wants to go around and just talk about the Thanksgiving? Because I know I got a lot, so I don't want to start.
Oh.
So.
So I can go first. I was briefly telling the gentleman here before you walked in that it was pretty cool. Most of the time, for the beginning of the day, we stayed away from politics because my family's kind of split. But we were outside at a bonfire. I didn't tell you this. And the younger ones, like I and my cousins and even my dad and my uncle, we started playing unpopular opinions. I started with the pop culture, but they're like, no, we're going deeper than that.
So what was the pop culture what was
all right,
the
I'm
one
going to
that
say
started
it, and
oh my
please me
gosh.
hint they don't come after me.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think Jennifer Lopez is that great of a dancer. That's my unpopular opinion.
That is
She can hit the moves, but I be looking at her like you kind of look a little I don't know.
That's
just
a popular opinion in this room.
and I love Jennifer Lopez. I love
Yeah,
J
of
Lo.
course.
She
Yeah, yeah.
looks gorgeous.
Do
She
you mean always
always
she's never
looks-
been a good dancer, or you mean currently?
and that's what my uncle said. He was like, she was a good fly girl. I was like,
But she was in an ensemble, so together they were
look good.
Yeah.
Cohesively as a
Cohesive,
unit,
yeah.
it all works.
It's that
As a-
cheerleader effect. When you
Yeah.
see five women together, you're like, they all look beautiful, but when you separate them, you're like, hold up, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, I can sing in a choir.
So sometimes when I watch dancers, because I think dancing is beautiful. I watch people in awe and what they can do and how they can move their bodies. But I feel like even professionals, there's some people that you look at them like, wow. And then some people it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you can do
Yeah.
the moves.
I also
So-
think J-Lo doesn't have the technique, even if she doesn't have the pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? When you watch the technique of her dance,
it's kind of like something looks
mediocre.
flat. It looks flat to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
60% I think of her talent comes from her looks, and then we just forgive the rest.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about beautiful
I like
people.
her.
Oh yeah, she seems
I don't think
nice.
I've
I love
ever
her
heard
voice.
this
She has a great
ever in my
voice.
life. I've never heard anyone be like, J-Lo's not a good dancer.
And
Three
she's
Spanish
just
people
okay.
in this room was like, Nah.
Get ready, Kapil.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because when the whole community is like, yeah, then you kind of feel like you gotta be like,
this is what happens when
keep
you're raised
that
by
to
white
yourself.
people. This is what it was. This is what we talking about.
Yeah.
Well, you don't say this in a white room.
I was disconnected.
You know what?
You say it amongst your own community.
Yeah.
Right, then you can make fun of your brothers and sisters. Don't be out here having other people make fun of your brothers and sisters in public.
Exactly. So then we went towards more of the serious stuff, and one of my aunts really was like, got really offended with some of the serious stuff. So, and then we cut it, but in the house where all the adults were, and I know I'm an adult, but like our uncles, aunts, mothers.
You always feel like
the conversation like was really like heated inside, from what I understand. And then my uncle, my Theo Dion, went in and like made it even. He was like, I'm gonna go see what's going on. Like that's my uncle.
Yeah.
He'll go into like.
Oh, he thought he was gonna.
I'm gonna throw this Molotov cocktail through the window to warm it up in there.
It was great. Like it was, we didn't really talk too crazy about politics. It was just that. So yeah, that was my Thanksgiving.
I feel like it's real easy for stuff to get escalated at family get-togethers.
Oh yes.
Oh, you're too close. You can't leave.
I don't play those types of games like with my family. We'll play like card games.
Technically, normally we do.
They play a lot of games.
Kapil has a very interesting. Do you want to tell me a little bit about like your family?
Yeah, I've already heard that.
Getting
you have
to know.
My family's white. Like that's it. Like that's.
How's that work?
Oh, but you brown.
There's a disconnect.
I
decided to be Indian. My family was white. Like, it's a choice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But I was picking my genome and my genetic.
You guys know Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was raised in Lancaster.
Oh, Amish country.
Yeah. We threw everything in the oven and just baked it. That's how it works. I didn't even go to Thanksgiving this year.
No.
I did a Friendsgiving with some close friends that I still talk to from my childhood / like high school. Like we all grew up together. No, I'm at the point in my life where like my family will hit me up. They're like, "Yo, are you coming to Thanksgiving?" And I don't even come up with an excuse anymore as to why I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah. And they're just like, what?
No, you're not
I'm just like, no, I'm not coming. I'm sorry.
I feel like being adopted, you hella gotta go to Thanksgiving. Like you gotta keep going back. Like, thank you for adopting me. I'll see you.
Show my appreciation.
I am back here for some turkey legs.
Look, my parents know that I'm thankful for that. But here's the thing: I've got no problem getting together with. Did I just mess up this mic?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
No, I've got no problem getting together with like my immediate family and doing Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We do that a lot. But like extended family, like you know how it is, and there's been a couple separations in my family this past year. You know, so it's like,
those are hard years.
Yeah.
Leave that in the last decade.
Yeah.
Leave that in the last decade. I love it. You're like, she's so holistic about it. It's like, divorces, leave it in 2019, baby.
What happened this year?
You have a few more days to reflect.
Leave the whole decade behind.
Yeah.
It's fresh. It's only
I love her.
You have a few more days to cry. And then when 2020 hits.
And then let's move on.
No, we'll play like some dice games or card games.
Dice game.
What?
I'm playing CeeLo.
Like CeeLo?
Yeah, no, my grandma, she like, I don't know, she likes dice, dude. Like, I don't know, she likes playing with dice.
You go to my grandma's house, the dominoes coming out. And she's like, who wants to pay for $1? You're like, come on, grandma, you're going to hustle us
these
all
old
out of money.
people know how to hustle.
Wait, why does Shay think he's at Thanksgiving now? You got a legit mug in the studio.
I know. I got my Laugh Fest. It was my first festival ever as a comedian.
Wow.
So I kept it for I got this at the beginning of a decade.
Happy 10
Wow.
years
Oh
old.
my God.
Circle.
Laugh Fest. I'm so old. So you just like keep it very chill when you go.
Yeah, I try to keep it
Good.
keep it chill. Plus, half the time they get into conversations, just like what she was talking about, where it's like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I feel that.
Oh
You know,
my gosh.
they shout your name. Like, hey, what do you think? Shop? No.
No.
Oh, you do come from a white family. Listen to how he says they shout your
Hey,
name.
shout.
Tito.
Oh my
Like
God.
we get yelled at, we get screamed at. Shouting.
He got
is a
shout.
skill.
He got timeout on Thanksgiving. What about you, Julie? How was your Thanksgiving?
What did I do on Thanksgiving? So it was really nice. My husband and I didn't plan on doing anything, and then randomly he got this white people idea that we were gonna go to Whole Foods.
Okay.
Yes. And we went to Whole Foods and we picked up a whole Whole Foods meal and we took it to my mother-in-law and surprised her.
What is a Whole Foods?
Yeah.
A Whole Foods meal means you get all the white people stuff: the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the green beans.
Did it come with gravy?
It came with gravy.
Wow.
Came with gravy. The turkey.
Was it turkey dry?
No, estaba dry.
I heard they have a good
It was good.
Yeah.
kitchen.
And this is how you
At
did
Whole
it.
Foods.
Mm-hmm.
You only had to cook it for like an hour and a half because it was mostly pre-cooked.
Already.
I don't know how they did this.
Right.
So we took it. She never had this food. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like that's not what we eat.
No.
So
Well,
she loved
what
it.
do you eat? I'm very confused now. You said white people stuff is stuffing, turkey, potatoes.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
just seems like normal.
Cranberries.
I feel like I saw more than just white people
Your
posting.
ethnocentrism is showing.
Actually, when my girl came to what she called Mexican Thanksgiving, and she hated that it was like patele and it was
Oh.
pernil and
Yeah, I don't
it
eat
was
pork
Oh,
like.
she
But
called
back
that
in the day,
Mexican?
yes.
That's
She called
Puerto
that-
Rican stuff.
But she
That
was
is
like that's not real. Like that's one of the fights we had. Where she's like, oh, one of my least favorites was the one where I didn't get any of the turkey and all stuff. I'm like, you had a different culture Thanksgiving. Like
Right.
be appreciative.
Well, we had both
Yeah.
on like my mom's side.
So that's why
Turkey
like
and
the
a
other
pernil.
half is like
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And the arroz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you
And
would
the
have rice
habichuelas.
and
and the
beans.
habichuela, yeah.
The pasteles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spanish people are making Thanksgiving this whole other feast.
we
We
would
would
do
do,
another
we would
thing.
do
Yeah.
mashed potatoes and gravy. We still had that.
We would do that too.
on
I
my
never-
dad's
My
side,
mother-in-law, no.
on my dad's side, we had the turkey. We had cornbread stuffing.
Yeah.
Delicious.
That sounds good.
Cornbread pudding.
I got that from Whole Foods, cornbread stuffing.
Was theirs good?
It was mediocre.
Whole Foods.
I don't like cloves. And there were too many cloves in it.
The
Okay.
greens, the collard greens. Always had to have collard greens.
Yeah.
I feel like I had the best of both. Like every
That
year
is
we
good.
switched.
That's
Soul
sort of what
food
we
one
did,
year,
too.
Puerto Rican cuisine the next year.
We
So
we
it
have
was-
both in every
yeah.
year, but my mother-in-law, no. So my mother-in-law, she's Dominican through and through. Ay, bendito. And then, she really liked it. And the thing is that it was an eye-opener because every time we go out, you know, she doesn't eat out. Like maybe 3-4 times a year.
Because her mother-in-law can cook her behind.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my gosh.
But she doesn't eat
She
out
just learned
unless
how
she
to
goes
cook
to
like
Chinos.
through her family and stuff like that. She just knows how.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the best cook I know. Like
Okay.
seriously, everything she makes is my favorite. No offense, mom.
Oh snap!
But it's really really good. And so we took that to her and we surprised her and then we went shopping and then on the weekend I was with my family and it was the first time in my entire life, with maybe one exception, that I was with all my brothers and sisters and we like
Okay.
rented out a room block and it was just so much fun.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's very very nice.
It was really cool.
That's
I know
cool.
this is just show and all, but what do you guys have for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What she said, white people. stuff.
Because I feel like one time I saw like pasta, and I think some
Alright.
like Latinos
Meatballs.
might do it.
Is that
It's
a
Italian
Italian
Lasagna,
meatballs.
like I'll see lasagna at
We
Thanksgiving.
did,
I'm
well,
like,
even at the Friendsgiving, I did. It was your common American staples. It was
the mashed potatoes,
turkey, mashed
Okay.
potatoes, and stuffing. Then we do like the brown corn, we'll do like baked brown corn, like
Sounds good.
yeah, we'll do
Okay.
like baked brown
How do you
corn,
get
Brussels
corn brown?
sprouts.
I like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I'm a
did
Brussels
like
sprout
roasted
fan.
Brussels
them in my
sprouts.
top.
Brussels House
I
having
don't
a
think it's
moment
any,
right now.
it's not
They're having a
anything green
moment.
bean casserole. You guys know green. That
I
shit
saw that on
sucks.
TV. It's in all the commercials.
I don't
Green bean
think.
casserole is horrible.
It
Doesn't it have,
looks
like-
it's not good to me?
Well, here's the thing. To make PA Dutch style green bean casserole, the recipe actually requires you to use beans out of the can. Like, not even fresh green beans.
Okay.
Like, it has to be canned green beans.
Is this the one we use like the mushroom
Some type of
soup?
cream of
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
it's like cream of mushroom
And then
soup.
onions.
Yeah.
And then, the fried, French's.
Crunchy,
Yeah,
I
fried
like
onions.
You
the
know-
Pennsylvania Dutch green bean casserole. I grew up in Hershey.
I don't like it.
That's a Campbell's
I like
recipe. That's a Campbell's creation. They were trying to figure out like how to like put in
Get
their
people to-
cookbook. Yeah, to buy more of the mushroom soup. They're like, oh, do this one. It became like a staple.
You
It's,
guys
it's
ever
a corporate
see
thing.
cookbooks, like, from, like, the 70s and back? And how
I-
it was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Dude, they would put like peas, mashed potatoes, and corn in the same like cake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
then they would
called
just
shepherd's
cut through it.
pie, right?
No, a shepherd's pie is different.
No,
Like,
shepherd's
that's-
pie is mashed potatoes with the
The
corn
ground-
and the ground beef. That's delicious.
Oh,
I know how to
it's
make
popping.
that.
I
Actually
like
knows how to
that.
make
That's got
that.
like a
I love it. That's the one
That's
thing I
a
know how
puff
to make.
pastry,
Okay,
and then
okay.
like they got like the potato, like the mashed potatoes on top. No, they'll do like pineapple, peas,
Oh.
roast beef. You ever see these cookbooks?
Ooh,
Go
no.
look at your grandma's cookbooks. Oh no, you
My
guys
grandma
don't
did
have
mine,
white.
yeah, I
you
got
don't-
it.
Look at your husband's
wait,
grandmother's
did y'all
On my
have
cookbook.
mom's side, my dad's side soul food cookbook, so I don't know.
This one, he said, "Oh wait, no."
No. That's
That was
funny.
funny.
I had a white Thanksgiving. I had the staple, the cranberry that comes in a can, so it already has the lines.
I like that.
Oh
though.
yeah.
I do too. Actually, I go back for
So it
that
already
more
has
than
the lines.
anything. Yeah, has the
How
little
Can you mix
rings.
it in? If you mix it in your rice,
No, I've never- no.
Oh, it's good.
I've never done that. I usually just get a lot of that with some gravy, and it just the mixture is just amazing.
And putting that with your mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
They had a really good cranberry sauce at Whole Foods. It was cranberry orange. I mean, I was eating it like with a spoon. It was really, really good.
Was it actual sauce or was it like the gelatin that we get in
like,
American style?
It was like jelly, but it was saucy. It was like just in the middle.
Okay.
You know, like it had some thickness. You could stay together, but it's gonna flop after a while. Like
Yeah.
a cat.
I love that the food just it's
like
the culture behind the food. I love it.
Yeah.
You know
I
how
love
cats are like solid, but they're also
They're liquid. Yeah.
Cats themselves. Like, I think you need to get your cat checked if he's solid and all of a sudden
one thing I
liquid.
learned from It's Always Sunny is that cats are liquid.
Yeah, because they feel the shape of whatever container they're in.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
yeah, that's true. I have heard that.
You
I've
put a cat
seen
in that
that.
cup right now, it'll
It'll take up that
Cat will
cup.
be a cup.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like this.
I didn't
Oh,
know
wow.
that.
I got one more
how was
thing.
your
Oh,
sorry,
please,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
Finish your
We got-
it's important.
Yes.
Please, yeah, we got 3 minutes. Maybe we'll go into mine because mine.
On my Thanksgiving, I also got a new cat-ish.
Oh,
I found it in a tree.
You're not supposed to bring cats in from the streets like that.
Oh.
They don't mess up your house.
Are you
This
sure
is
it's
Philly.
not? It doesn't belong.
Everybody
to
brings
somebody?
cats.
No, don't belong to anybody. No.
Just because you
It was
found
a
it in
baby
It was
tree,
a
baby.
don't
stray,
mean- you
and
sure?
then yeah, so it was a stray.
Like tiny baby.
Tiny baby Ivan that was stuck in the tree, and then it fell out, and I caught it, and then so I
She
took it,
crocheted a net for it to fall in.
and I took it to the SBC.
That
I mean,
mother is looking for her cat.
no, she is
That
not.
mom is terrible. You
No,
stole
it was
a
really
child.
sad.
Well,
so
she shouldn't have let her kitten climb up in the tree.
it was out, and then what
My cat
happened is
now.
that area, because there's so many stray cats in that area, I was able to get free vaccines, free spade.
Nice.
Free everything because they have an overpopulation, so there's a program that's running. So yeah, that was my Thanksgiving.
No, that's
and that made me think of it because the cup, it wasn't a random.
No. So wait, you already have one cat.
Mm-hmm.
Now is your second. Was your husband just cool with these strays coming into the house?
Oh, it took. She had to work him to get the okay. And I'm not a cat person either. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna love her." I was like, "Okay." I like Catherine because her first cat. Mine's her business.
Wait, your first name's cat is Catherine? I love it. I love the
And
fact.
I like her because
the
she
cat.
minds her business. She don't come chasing after you. She might come out and say, hey, she might not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she's
she
real
does her
chill.
own thing. So, and that's why I'm not a cat person. I don't like the chasing me and like trying to, that's not my thing. I like dogs.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to, and the kitten's cute. It really
She's
is.
Cats always
But-
to me
All
feel like they're
kittens
plotting
are
against
cute.
me.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
how happened?
I said kittens, all kittens.
And then they grow
are
up.
Cute, and then they grow up.
And
Yeah.
they grow up. Yeah.
She is pretty bad. Her name's Paris.
Why'd you call it like Paris as a?
Because
That's a
we were
story.
coming back from church, and at church we had done like a themed event, and our theme was Paris, and that's when we found her. So I don't know, it just felt fitting.
I like
It's cool.
that.
Yeah, it works.
I like the dignity that she gives all her cats. Catherine in Paris.
Yeah, my roommate just got an American bulldog, and he just named it Dudley. I was like, oh.
Dudley.
Dudley.
Is your roommate?
He got it on Dudley Street. That's what.
Oh.
That's no, but no, don't say no. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, no.
It's still not okay.
Because
Okay.
I was just thinking like Dudley Do Right, like that doofus,
Oh.
right? And like this dog's kind of a doofus. I was like,
Oh my god.
I think it's cute.
Oh.
stupid.
We stole your show. I'm so
No,
sorry.
this has
know.
been great. I only have one story to tell, so then we could just do it after the break.
Okay.
We could take a break now, and then we'll come back into my Thanksgiving. We'll be right back after this break.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
we're back. All right. Should I just get right into it?
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't go to London because Julie thought I was in London for my Thanksgiving. No.
I've been spreading rumors. I'm so sorry.
Well, no, like I was saying, no fairness, I was in New Orleans, so all those buildings are like 400 years old. They're like the beginning of the country and all that stuff. So that was very interesting.
French. If he was in France,
Very
that would have worked
European
better.
inspired.
Yeah.
French Quarters.
Europe and London. I mean, Paris and London are both in Europe, so
Right.
let's just say it's
It still
European
works, yeah.
inspired.
I feel like such a snob. I was like,
That's
you don't
fair.
say the S as French Quarter.
Oh, they don't
Yeah.
Excuse me,
So-
sorry.
No, I said it, and then the local was like, it's not an S, bro. Like they said, bro. He
Well,
said,
thank you for schooling me.
No.
Yeah.
Wait,
French Quarter.
What is?
In New Orleans, it's called the French Quarter. It's like this.
As opposed to.
Some people French quarters.
Oh, there's.
Just-
I see,
yeah,
there's
people
an
just say the
in
S,
there.
Oh,
yeah,
it sounds so white when you get quarters.
Yeah.
Quarters.
I'm going to Quarters, have some grits. So I first of all, let me say this. I love the city. Being around so much history, like Philly has cool, like, oh, these are the cobblestones there. You're like, yo, these are like plantation homes around here. These are slave quarters. Like,
Oh,
I was
wow.
looking around at all this history just while like white people just got drunk and didn't care. But I was like, nah, man, this is like amazing. And one thing that like I found very interesting is I don't know if you guys know this, but like my girlfriend's family is like Trump supporters, like heavy.
Well, you said that she called Boricua Thanksgiving Mexican, so I had an idea.
Well, actually, no. But my stepdad is Mexican, so she wasn't
Okay,
like
works.
she wasn't
It
being
works.
racist. She was just actually like, no, they're Mexican and they had a Thanksgiving.
Here I go with the rumors again.
So what was interesting was like I've never actually been on their turf, so I was in the South around all
their
this
turf.
like like all this stuff. Everybody around there is very openly like Trump supporters and stuff. So I wasn't able to speak my mind as much as I wanted to about race because I was outnumbered. Okay. So it's very hard to be like, yo, they're saying some stuff that I was like, I wasn't in awe because like I know how they think, but I was very trying to use my intellect to get back at them and not insult them.
I think it's funny though, because like imagine them watching the show. They're like, "What do they keep saying white people for?"
Oh, they'll never watch this. Like, I know. Listen, my album came out, and I know for a fact that none of my family have listened to it because it's all about race. And they're like, I do not want to listen to that at all.
Yeah, you don't want to trigger them.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, like, how... So one thing that I was very proud of, like, my father-in-law was like, Trump is doing a good job. He's doing everything he said he would. And what I said was, he is doing everything he said he would. And he goes, are you saying he's good? I'm saying he's doing everything he said he would. And that's the way he kind of let it go, because I think he understood. I was like, I understand why he's your good president, but you need to understand why he's not my president. So that's what's very, like, challenging. Ooh. I also found that, like, if somebody loves Trump, the best thing to do is attack people around him, because most Trump supporters don't know who his entourage is. So I was like attacking like Miller, Stephen Miller, who's the guy who's doing a lot of the racial, political, the immigration laws and all that stuff. He had no idea who Stephen Miller was, so I can crap on Stephen Miller all day.
Okay, crap on
So that was like, but I had this whole week I was there. I had a very like,
It is.
I'm gonna have to think about that tactic.
What?
Just talking about his entourage instead of him directly. I've never really thought about it like that.
People love him, so you can't go after the king. If you're gonna go after the king, you better make sure the king's dead. So I have nothing right now that'll make him hate the king. But his pawns, yo, I can knock him out left and right
It's so real.
until he's the only man standing. I'm like, nah, what you got to defend?
I mean, the good thing is that he also knocks out his pawns left and
Yeah,
right.
I know, right? So
Even Dylan, our engineers, and they're like, yes,
yo,
he looked up and smiled.
We're all on the same team here.
Yeah. So what I love, honestly, one of the things that I love, and this might be kind of weird, but I actually do like going into the political arena where I'm outnumbered, because then I have to outthink them. And that was actually really fun. Like, they took me shooting for the first time, right? I've never shot a gun.
How did you feel even like going?
I hate guns. And using them only solidified my hatred for them. They are powerful. They are evil. I understand the protecting yourself, but like, so they were showing me how to load it, and somebody behind me fired, and for the first time in my life, I was close to a gunshot. And my visceral reaction was everything in my body wanted to throw up.
Don't tell me you stopped, dropped, and rolled.
No, I stood still. I stood up. But the sound of a gun near my head made me want to throw up.
Oh, I love the range. I love it.
I
I like
hated
taking
it.
guns apart. I like, yeah.
But here's how let me just tell you this. Here's how I started messing with their psyche, right? Because the entire drive, they're like, they should never take away our guns. As Americans, we should have guns. If the government comes into your home and tries to remove you, you should have every right to protect yourself, right? They kept saying this, right? Then I shoot. I'm actually a pretty good marksman. I'm getting down. I was scared, but after a while, I was hitting bullseyes, right? And then I said,
scared. He's like, all right.
they're talking Second Amendment rights. And then I go, you know what? I think all immigrants should arm themselves. Because you're right. Because if the government comes into our home and try to remove us, we have the right to defend ourselves.
Oh my God.
And these white dudes started freaking out because they thought they were starting to train a militia. They were like, nope, his name's Che. He's learning how to shoot. This is...
I've heard it said before, if every black and brown person owned a gun, we would get legislation and regulation, everything that we need on gun laws.
Everything that they thought about guns.
Dave Chappelle.
Him, but then the woman I listen to, Karen Hunter, she says it all the time too. Yeah. He did say that in there. Yeah.
Oh no, it's absolutely true because once, like, they were talking all these Second Amendment laws, but once I started applying it to immigrants protecting their home and their property, they were like, but they're not legal. I'm like, well, you're telling me it's a human right to have a gun. You tell me, it's all this and that. Like,
now you don't
so now you don't like it? The fact that I'm saying my people should have guns.
Then you're shooting bullseyes.
Yeah. So it's okay for you to have guns to protect yourself against my people, but if I have guns to protect myself against your people, then that's wrong.
Hold on. We got to rethink this whole thing now.
You know what I mean? Oh, well, maybe the Second Amendment.
So
that's why I like shooting fish. It's like shooting fish in a barrel because I know as soon as I bring it up to my people, they're going to start hating everything they just said.
Listen to him using like gun analogies now.
I was a marksman.
I always like the people that use the argument, like if they come into our home, we have the right to defend ourselves. And half the time the people saying that, it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
These are highly trained people
that
they're gonna send into your home. What? Because you go to the range every now and then. Because you hit the stationary target.
They saw John Wick, all three of them back to back. So now they know how to take on the government.
Boy, you're not gonna get tossed over the balcony and get back up. You're gonna lay there. All right.
Did your opinions of guns change after you got to use one?
I want there to be restrictions and to make sure that absolutely nobody who should not have this have it.
Yeah,
I don't want no abuser, nobody with history.
Yeah.
No, especially men who have a history of violence.
Yeah.
Because when you see the perpetrator, when I saw that bullet rip through that paper, like, and it still made a flash, like it burned it up. I was like, if that was my, I hate to be so graphic, if that was my flesh. Like, I don't want to be at the receiving end of that at all. No. I don't want any human to be at the receiving that at all. Especially when it's like, you think of a kid getting hit by a ricochet bullet, and you're like, what? No. That's
my cousin
horrible.
Got hit by a ricochet.
You know what I mean? Like, that
freaked me out. In, what's that new spot they're gentrifying in South Philly? It's not a new spot.
How many spots are they gentrifying?
It's like we're think like 19th and Federal area. What are they calling that area?
Oh, that's where Josh lives.
They're giving like a new name.
Yeah, it'll hit
me.
I forget what the place is called. Anyway, my cousin used to live out near there a couple years ago, and she was walking. She has a child. Her child was in the stroller. So she's walking her child and she's got like a little dog like this big or so. Drive by, caught a ricochet. Just like walking with her child, and then she moved out to media now. Oh. But she lived in Philadelphia for like 10 years, and then one straight. She's like, I'm out.
Sure, man. That thing, so that was just scared. Dude, I was that close to the first shot. I just wanted to run out of there. I did ease into it, and I do respect the power of it, and I also I respect myself and be like, hey, dude, you really know how to shoot. Like, that's good that you know that, and now maybe I'll keep practicing. But nah, man, they both have concealed carry in Louisiana. Actually, her uncle, my girlfriend's uncle, did, and he said something that really bothered me. Like, he took out the gun while we were in the car. He's like, hey, you want to see my gun? That's the first time he showed it to me. It wasn't at the range, and then he unloaded and everything. He goes, this makes you feel like a man.
Oh,
and I was like,
see, if that's what makes you feel like a man.
I feel like a man when I take care of my son. Like, right. I feel like I'm a good father. Like,
wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a man when I'm doing dishes. I feel like a man a lot of the time.
I did the dishes yesterday, bro.
It's a manly thing. Manly. You know what I mean? Like, it's
that
just,
is scary.
It's older generation too. Like, I feel like I don't like when a man feels like he needs that to define his gender.
I agree.
Which I feel like is such an antiquated thought, anyways.
Yeah.
Do you shoot?
Yeah, my house father, I went to Milton Hershey School, so it's like a boarding school, and
Yeah.
my house father in high school, Mr. Mong, was a hunter, and so I don't know why a lot of girls didn't really take to it, but I really took to like what he was doing, and so he would teach me like all the parts of the gun, and he would like we got to go shoot, and then my sister-in-law, she had a gun, and she would teach me, and so it was just like really cool, like to learn. I mean, I wouldn't just go around thinking that's what makes me like better or stronger, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, I know. It definitely it was an experience that I'm glad I did. Like I said, I just like it only made me realize I hate them more. And afterwards, they were like, "Don't you love it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." You want to come back?
Archery?
Huh?
Yeah, archery. Do you like that?
I've never done archery. I'll probably do that.
I think you would like it.
I feel like it's a lot more skills to
Get your
that.
Katniss on.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to just shoot something and then be like, "All right, you're dead." Like I don't really feel like I got the upper hand on it. You know what I mean? I feel like I like to beat things with like my wit or my
He's gonna
skills.
hunt with his fists. Straight up. You're gonna hunt with your fists.
I'm gonna hunt with my
Okay,
fist.
If you
Rambo.
ever have to hunt for whatever
I'm gonna
reason.
punch that moose in the throat.
Oh my god.
I like how the first thing he thinks of hunting is a moose, like not a deer or like a rabbit or like.
I'm going top shelf. Punch a moose in the
You're
throat.
going straight for the moose, which is huge.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a moose?
No, you said Dudley
They're
Do-Rex. I
huge.
just
They're
thought of like
huge, dude. They're larger than horses. Or
Where
as
are you
large.
gonna hunt a moose?
Montana.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh.
I'm gonna go to Montana. I'm booking a gig in Montana and I go
Point
hunt.
Breeze is the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what they're calling it.
I'm sorry, you knew that, and I was like, "That's it."
I forgot what it was called. I was like, what? It's called something. It was Peace. I was
All
going to
I
say
kept
Port.
thinking is, it's a pretty name. It's a pretty
Yeah,
name.
it's Point Breeze is like that whole area now that they're calling.
I've heard that. Yeah. As soon as I heard Point Breeze, I was like, that sounds like money. But what is that? That hill?
Well, it is. They
What
got
is
a
that hill
couple
area in Philly. Something
Chestnut Hill?
Yeah, that's it. That's money, right?
Mm. Yeah.
I was like, that's money, right? Like, I was trying to figure out where to rob people.
No,
that's
Chestnut-
money.
Oh
Right?
my god.
So Chestnut Hill is
You
where
don't
money
need-
is.
you don't
Outside-
need
The views
outside
expressed on this show are not those of Yera Vida Rosa Media.
Oh, well, sorry. Yeah. We cannot condone robbing white people of their property so we can get back our own. I'm sorry.
Who said you were robbing white
So-
people?
I'm
Who
sorry.
could have did
I
anybody?
don't know.
Yeah, specifically
A
white
lot of
people.
Indians
too
out there,
far.
actually.
Oh, yeah?
Whoa, hold up now. Which
All right.
Indians? We were having this conversation last time. Am I allowed to say Indian?
Oh, because he's Indian, but he grew up white. People was like, am I allowed to say
if I call a
Indian?
Native American Indian, is that messed up? Like,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
I think none of us should be calling him that.
Yeah, Native American. I
Yo,
would say,
but
like,
if they
Asian
refer to
Indian.
themselves as Indian, is it weird if I'm like, yo, no, you're not? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
They're not Asian Indians.
I actually, you know what's funny talking about Indian? Like, so my son came home, like, coloring, like, a bunch of, like, Native American pictures for, like, Thanksgiving, and then it was, like, PTA meeting, and I asked the teacher, I was like, oh, you're teaching about, like, Native Americans? Like, yeah, we're thinking about, like, the Pilgrims. I'm like, are you teaching them, like, what the Pilgrims actually did? And the woman, I don't know why I asked this question. He's in kindergarten. She was like, no, we're not going to teach that yet. And I was like, all right, but we're going to get to it, right? Like, we're not just going to color Indians and be like, it was all
asking
good.
that question. She knew before you finished that question. She was like, no.
Here we
sir.
go again.
I
One of these.
like causing waves, man. That's why, like, in New Orleans, like, I was just throwing out things. Be like, oh, how y'all gonna react? Like, I don't play it safe like that. So
We're not traveling with Che.
But here's what came out of it that was great, cause like, so I'll give this news. So being with them and realizing like, I felt like they didn't take me seriously because all of my political views have come from like my own reading and like my own like thinking. So they're like, oh, it's just Che being Che.
Who let you read?
So when I came back, I signed up for college. I'm officially signed up for the first time in my life. I'm going to
Nice.
college. I'm gonna be a history teacher. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Because I want to teach people about the actual history that you know.
Of the
and-
Pilgrims.
Yes.
He's gonna be a history teacher for kindergarten age.
Yes. Yo, let me tell you about the injustice in this country.
Hold on. We gotta rethink this plan today. Maybe
Wrap up snack time.
college.
Wrap it up. We gotta tell.
Maybe college. Like history
No,
course.
well,
in
actually,
there.
somebody
Yeah,
told me
no.
like I need a PhD in order to teach college, and actually that to me seemed
You need a
doable. That seemed doable. I
So,
want to go.
Be an adjunct.
Right, you can be an adjunct. Get the connections. And
Yeah.
You have to have the PhD. You can't do
to get the
master's?
full time.
You
To-
can do
to be a
master's,
tenured.
Yeah.
Oh, to be a tenured.
You could be
Yeah.
a
Okay.
professor still.
Yeah.
An adjunct.
So that's exactly what. I signed up for Camden Community College.
Nice.
I took their placement exam. Yo, this made me laugh, right? Because like I thought I was young for a long time, right? And I walked into the like admissions office. The woman takes one look at me and goes, are you here for continuing education? I was like, oh, my old face said I'm back, right? Like, it wasn't even like, oh, you're a young guy for the first time. Now that face says you had a high school diploma way too long. Like, so they were super cool. They signed me up right away. I have to take all remedial classes to begin with because they were like, yo, you know how to write, but it ain't great. You know how to do math, but it ain't
how's
great.
that math coming, man?
That math was,
bad,
they were like,
bro.
you need high school algebra. I was like, all right, let's do this. They were like, do you want to just like retake the placement exam because you missed like 1 or 2 points? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I know I got such a terrible public education. Like, let's fix up. Let's fix everything up. Let's start from the ground up.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm excited because like they showed me in New Orleans that like they didn't take me serious because they're like, you know, I'm just a high school kid who reads a lot. But once I feel like that degree, not that they're gonna like automatically start respecting me, but it'll hold some clout to be like, listen, man, this is what I studied. So don't try to come at me with your
that's your gun.
Fox News.
Your degree.
That's my gun. My degree will be the ultimate. Listen, I studied this, okay? Don't tell me Fox News is right and I'm wrong. You know?
I love it.
So that's what I did. That's how passionate I was
professor.
about it.
Did you ever read that book, what is it? Damn Lies My Teacher Told Me?
No, what is that?
It's about all of the things that we learned that, you know, like we skipped parts that the people that face the injustices may have written into the history books. So, like the Pilgrims.
I'll give you the perfect example. I remember when I first got to this country in the 3rd grade, I had a history class, and my teacher, I didn't know what it was, but she read Manifest Destiny. And I was like, what's Manifest Destiny? She goes, it was God telling the Americans that they should go all the way to the West. All right, next up. And I'm like, she put that into my head, making me think that God said that America should go to the West, instead of explaining that Manifest Destiny was like a racial thing to justify, you know what I mean? Like, she put it in my head like, oh, God said, and I believe that God said America should reach the West. I believed that it was right that this was happening instead of looking into, so that's one of the lies my teacher told me. I got to get that book.
It's a great book.
Yeah, I've never heard of that book.
Yeah. Do you remember any lies anybody told you?
Everything.
The whole history. Scrap the whole history book and start over.
But never like one part that made you like scratch and be like, that doesn't seem...
I'm going to have to think.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to think.
You know, a lot of our idols had shady past. Gandhi was shady. Gandhi was known for sleeping with children, you know?
What?
Not like sleeping,
right now.
not like, you know, but like he was known to hang out and sleep amongst.
Nobody told me that.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that about Gandhi.
Gandhi was a weird dude. And not just children, like grown women, like he had weird things about him. Mother Teresa wasn't the nicest person. She did a lot of good things.
Don't do this. Don't do
this.
Thank you. That's our time here. This is middle time.
Mother Teresa threw mad shade at people.
Yo.
They're all wearing the same things. Is that what you're gonna wear? We're all wearing the same thing, Teresa.
Well, no, I mean, dude. Even in our recent histories, like look at our past, like look what happened with Prince Charles.
What was it?
He's caught up in that child sex ring.
Oh, with the.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that.
Oh! All right, we're at a break. This is our last. All right, we'll take one more break and we'll come back, and this will be our last. Yeah, let's take one more break. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Regresando a la escuela, sí tenía miedo. No sabía si iba a poder hacerlo. Una de las maestras que está ahí es la señora Araceli. Ella siempre tomaba su tiempo ayudándome a mí. 50% es entrando por la puerta, el otro 50% es haciendo el trabajo. Nunca es muy tarde para obtenerlo.
Encuentra clases gratis para adultos cerca de ti en completatudiploma.org.
And we're back. So Gandhi was weird.
Yeah. No, what'd you just read? What'd you just
Really
read,
go
Chantel?
through- Okay,
Yeah.
so
She looked it up.
Vice-
She looked it up, so I'm not talking out
I am not
my
keeping
butt
anybody
here.
on a pedestal that doesn't deserve to be.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves to be on a pedestal.
The world is canceled.
Vice.com. Gandhi was a racist who forced young girls to sleep in bed with him.
Oh, I
Well, hold up. No, this is Vice, though. I feel like Vice.
Yeah.
Have they been funky? And this was written in 2015.
When did it say
Oh.
So this is
a racist against who?
So I've heard
Oh,
that too.
he
I've
hated
been
black
hearing
people.
that lately.
Right?
Yeah.
Really?
Which is kind of ironic because I'm actually reading the autobiography of Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King's nonviolence approach all was inspired by Gandhi. So it's kind of weird, be like, he didn't like you, but he still
Yeah.
inspired you. So you,
Wow.
Yeah.
That just broke my heart.
It really did. But like reading MLK's work, it's kind of interesting because he does realize like everybody has sins, but you also got to realize people do contribute good. So but that's so hard now in the world we live in. That how do you forgive the sin for somebody who did do great things?
It's like the 80-20 rule, right? Did you do more harm? Oh, I don't know. That's kind of.
Does that work for this?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
so.
don't know.
I
I
just
don't
thought
know.
about it and I was like, wait, not if kids
Nah.
are involved.
Nah.
I think there's just certain things you don't do.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. No matter what you're doing for the world, doesn't excuse the fact that you have.
Yeah.
Have harmed other people in
Yeah.
a really bad way.
Like Hitler probably thought he was doing great things for the world.
Oh, he thought he was.
yeah, like he
no, it
thought
is-
that.
That is the. Not to. Oh my God! I was about to compare my family to Hitler, but no. But
Let's
you
see
gotta
where this
realize
goes.
being around
I have
somebody.
placed my hand on my forehead. If you're not watching the live,
You gotta realize when you're around somebody whose ideologies doesn't gel with yours, you have to almost look at why is it that this reality is so strong in your mind. That's what I want to know more than anything.
Okay.
Why do you feel that you are superior? Like, what are your facts? So that's why, so even somebody like Hitler thought that he was. I mean, he was following the guidance of the philosopher Nietzsche, who believed that humans would transcend and become supermen. So
Yeah.
this guy thought he was helping us become supermen, but not realizing, like, you know what I mean? Like,
You know
it's
To be fair to Nietzsche, if you compare people of 2019 to Nietzsche's day, we probably did become supermen. You know, like, look at the NFL players these days.
These are supermen.
And put 2019 NFL players against like what 1960 NFL players.
But then I want to know though, what happened? Like, why can't we explain how these Aztecs or how the Egyptians built these pyramids? Like, that seems pretty Superman to me too.
I mean, I love reading about like Native American culture because they were one of the first people to actually be able to feed a whole citizenry with all their agriculture. So when Europeans landed in America, there was a surprise that Native Americans were like 2 or 3 feet taller than them. So they were already superhumans compared to the people that...
Were they?
Oh, yeah. No, the one of the things that Cortez was most impressed of was how tall Native American were. Men, women, and children were about 2 feet taller than
They
Europeans.
just didn't have guns.
They just didn't have guns or diseases.
Well, there's that.
There's that.
Yeah.
So that's why, like...
They both now.
Superman
That's how
already...
you lose.
And also, American culture doesn't give Native Americans enough for inspiring their ideologies of like freedom and liberty, because in the Native American culture, like women were very prominent in politics. Women were picked their husbands. So you know what I mean? So and then the idea of the individual freedom was a lot more established in Native American culture. That's why like European settlers were like, I like what those Native Americans do. And they sleep with everybody. They're open. They share everything. Like that was, you know what I mean? They don't get that credit either. So on Thanksgiving,
true.
I'm giving them credit for breaking up monogamy.
I want to take your history class.
That's why I want to do a history class, man. I love
shoot.
learning all this kind of stuff.
That's cool.
All right.
Ethically non-monogamous.
What happened?
That's that ethically non-monogamous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Native America says non-monogamous. I like that.
I'm trying to find this book. Once I get the title, I'm gonna give it to you. I have it at home. I can see the cover. I can't find it no matter how much I Google. But it's the written history of slavery in America. So like anything that has been written about the ideas and ideology coming from Europe and whatever their reasoning for, like anything that they wrote down, this man has put into a book. Like their justifications, or who the earliest people or person was to write down saying we need to enslave the Africans.
There's a written history of it? Like there's somebody...
There is. That's
who
why,
got to pick...
and it's on my coffee table. So I'm trying to Google it. I can't find it. And I just asked my husband, you know what? I think I ordered from Amazon. Let me see. I'm going to find it.
That
for you.
gives me chills every time because, I don't know, I just don't feel worthy sometimes when I'm thinking about what other people go through.
Yeah.
I feel like this is getting deep real fast.
No,
but,
let's do it.
I remember, and obviously we learned about slavery and things like that, but until you really like have a graphic understanding, you know, like it took for me, I was watching 12 Years a Slave. I couldn't sleep, like I didn't sleep in my bed for like 2 weeks, y'all. Like I couldn't. I was like, I don't feel worthy. Like I couldn't sleep. And I just think like if we would get more of these full perspectives for other topics, we would be more humble as people, you know?
Yeah. And also like, I love reading about like the zeitgeist of the time and not just like the crime itself, but the atmosphere that allowed it to just continue for so long fascinates me.
Right.
Like I really am interested. I'm actually fascinated now like by the Me Too movement and how much we actually allowed to happen for so long. And it wasn't just something like this that made me realize like holy, like I wonder what else down the road are we gonna look at it from our society and be like, whoa, that was
Well, stuff is happening now. Like these kids in these camps, right? That are dying, that are being put in these cells, and you know we all think it's an injustice. We all really believe we want to do everything that we can, but at the same time, we're here in Philly, you know, bringing awareness or whatever it is that we're doing. But there's only so much you could do when you have to take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not that we want this to happen. We want it to perpetuate, but just like in any society, you have to fend for yourself, and therefore we don't have the ability to go to these camps and be like, look, no, or like, you know, to write letters to our congressman every day.
That is the trap because I realize like the more and more I want to be politically involved, the more I realize like it's time that I'm not at work, that I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is it.
That's the book.
Stamped from the beginning.
By Ibram X. Kendi.
The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America. Oh, I gotta get that book. That's going on my reading list. Yeah. That's
sorry.
You know what?
I tapped the camera.
This is about to become a book club. That's what we're gonna do every month. We're just gonna be like, did you guys read that one? Shoot, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry, I answered.
No. I love it.
I was gonna say she was talking about camps and doing stuff for politics. And you
So that's the issue with like that I feel so guilty about when I'm like, I hear about like a rally or something that like shut down Burks or something, and I'm like, I gotta work at a diner because if I don't, then I can't pay my rent. But I wish I was at this event. Like that's what it is. Like it's so hard to just pay your bills. That it's also hard to be like, I want to be more in the front line, but I can't afford to be in the front line.
Yeah. And that's how these things happen. Like, it's nobody's fault. Well, I mean, you know, there's
people's fault, yeah.
But, like, in terms of the people who want to make a difference, like, we're not just sitting here watching and, like, that's cool, let's let it happen because we believe it, you know, like, that we believe in it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the people who dedicate their entire lives to make these either injustices or these great things happen have to dedicate their entire lives.
That is so... That's so... you know what's funny? They dedicate their life to stripping civil rights. Like, that's insane. Yeah. That they get to go to college and be like, I'm going to graduate from the best school to continue stripping civil rights. Like, they get to dedicate their life to that.
Yeah.
That's not how they see it, but yeah.
No, of course, that's not how they see it. They see it as they're justifying their liberal ideas. That's another thing, too. Like, I just love, like...
Yeah, but it works on both sides of the coin, though. Like, nobody who's bad, quote-unquote, thinks they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know, but like just like everybody who's good or does good things, whatever, everybody on the other side of the coin is against that too, you know?
I love watching movies and shows from the villain's perspective. You know, you really get to understand the psychology and things like that. And then you tend to feel bad for them.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't hate you so much. I pity you.
You know what's interesting? And this is weird because I know we're talking about politics, but I'm going to talk about Star Wars real quick. No.
That is a lot about politics.
All right.
A small army.
Anybody who's listening or watching, if you know anything about Star Wars, you know the basic premise is the rebels versus the Empire, right? And growing up, we were always taught that the rebels are the good guys, right? Well, I was reading this comic book a couple years ago, and it was written and drawn from the perspective of a stormtrooper, and he was talking about how the whole issue was about him personally and why he decided to join the Empire and yada, yada, yada. And he was talking about how he viewed the rebels as domestic terrorists because when he was a child, they came to his homeland, fought a bunch of people, killed everybody he knew, left him for dead, just a young child. And then he was like, no, the Empire, they took me in, they gave me a home, they gave me a purpose, they trained me, they fed me, they put clothes on my back.
See?
I have friends, I have family now, which is everything the rebels took away from me. And it's like this weird thing. And ever since I read that comic, I was like, Yo, you know what? The rebels are kind of domestic terrorists. When you think about it.
The Empire's running. They got food. They got
water. Over here trying to
water.
help people. I don't know. You know,
I love
like,
that perspective.
it was just an interesting thing. I know it's Star Wars, but it was just
People
something.
have to love the system in order for it to like thrive. That's why whenever I hear people go, "No, America first," I realize you don't understand how racist that is. Because that means you're saying the idea of white America first and then everybody brown second, but they don't see it
They
that
don't,
way.
yeah.
They don't hear that.
Well, you know what's interesting? Over in Hong Kong right now, they're flying American flags.
For
the protesters and stuff. Yeah, because they're fighting for freedom and
right.
all that, and they're still in their minds, like they're still looking at the idea of the free America is what they're fighting for.
That idea is diminishing globally.
We know
Scary.
that, but Hong Kong, like China doesn't. Like the Hong Kong people, they like the Hong Kong, the people who live in Hong Kong.
I think they're Hong Kongian.
No, they're Chinese. They're
Chinese. Yeah.
No, but they no. Actually, the people from Hong Kong specifically are
They call
calling
themselves.
themselves. They don't want to be associated with mainland China. They want to be like we are not associated with the system that is mainland China. We are Hong Kong people.
It's like Brexit over there.
Yeah, because Hong Kong people like don't want to get their rights taken away, which is like. Here's one thing, like as terrible as America is and all the issues that it's having, the fact that I can be on this radio show and like be like crapping on it and then, you know, not getting new followers means that we live in a pretty free society because people are like, that guy's just talking. Do you know what I mean? So I still have a lot of freedoms that I'm not going to take for granted.
Right.
You know? That's all. But that is I can see why they're raising up the American flag because they want
that symbol of...
They want to continue to have that voice that they feel like mainland China is taken away from them.
Yeah.
Which is pretty powerful.
That's encouraging to me because at the same time as, you know, we've seen such a decline in like patriotism, I'm glad to hear that like other countries haven't completely knocked down the ideology that, you know, like I do feel tender about. You know, I went to the Constitution Center and while it showed so many issues in this video that it played, at the end of the day I felt really emotional to be American. You know, like I'm still proud of it. I want to change things, and the fact that I have a place where I have an opportunity to try and do that, even if we're sitting here, it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about. I want to go to the Constitution Center and actually take a look at it because there is something about the American Constitution that you can at least see like. I feel like most people want to be like revolutionary, be like knock the whole government down, take it all away. I'm like, I see American government with enough leeway that you can work inside of it and change it to actually fit people's needs and not have to like destroy everything. So that's the beauty about it, you know.
Really cool.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, you got to watch the show. It's like in an amphitheater, and then there's a guy who stands in the middle and talks to you, but like, you know, you see the whole progression of America from start to like where it is now, and it, you know, they don't hold bars. They're like, yeah, well, you know, when the founding fathers got together, they couldn't reach a consensus if they had to include, you know, abolishing slavery in that part, so they skipped it. You know, that's a big issue, but at the same time, America was formed.
Yeah, so. It is a messy, complicated history.
It is complicated. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So Ursula has seen us, like listeners, viewers, they've seen and heard us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah.
A little bit
about yourself.
All right, I guess.
And I put him on the spot.
I was adopted when I was 4. I came over to America. I tell people a lot that I'm Indian ethnically, but I'm not Indian like culturally. Okay. Which is the weirdest. It's all right. So like. So you were all Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Or
Hispanic,
Latino. What's the term?
Afro-Latino.
Afro-Latina? Latino?
Yeah.
I don't got no Afro.
So all right, Latino. We're Latino. But all right, so when you see other Latinos or other Afro-Latinos, do you all speak Spanish?
Yeah.
No, they do. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right.
I understand.
But do Spanish people come up and just like start speaking Spanish to you?
It's
right?
happened. It's happened to my dad.
You know,
who's a black man who's light skinned, and he's like, no.
Spanish people come up and start speaking Spanish to me.
Yeah.
Because they just assume I'm Dominican. I'm not. I'm Indian. But Indian people come up and they start, and I can just see the disappointment.
Yeah.
And the light in their eyes. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. Yeah.
And like they want to bond with me, like every taxi I get in. You know. Like, they just,
you still ride taxis?
It's horrible. They see my name, or Ubers, like they'll be like, "Oh, Kapil, oh, you from Calcutta?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. I'm just going home, dude." Yeah, no, I mean, I do stand-up comedy. I went to art school. So I'm bad at math.
Yeah. I gotta take remedial, man.
I had to retake geometry in art school.
Oh, I hated geometry.
And I still did horrible. Why do I gotta prove it's a square? It's a square. It's
you obviously see a square.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know really what to like say about me. I don't know. I'm 5'5". I'm a full 145.
For the ladies, if you're wondering.
What's up?
I got a medium income of
yeah.
So if you can, this is something we like to do. I'm like taking all over Chase show.
No, please.
If there's one thing you can tell your younger self, like your 19, 20-year-old self, what would that be?
You know what? That's a good question. I guess if I had to tell him one thing, it would be that if you want to do something, just do it. I know I wasted so much time worrying about how others would perceive me all the time. Like growing up in a white area, it was like identity crisis is something I always had to deal with. And I just worried so much how others would perceive me all the time and what the ramifications were. And I think I missed out on so many things just because I didn't want to deal with whatever social awkwardness or pressures that I would have had to deal with. Like, I didn't go to prom or homecoming or any of those types of things, you know?
You got all that hair and you didn't go to prom.
I looked real bad back in high school. But, like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know back then how to function. Like,
seize the moment and
you
take
know,
it
and do that type of stuff. And, like, I don't know, like, maybe I wanted to go out and do this. I wanted to go out and do that. And then I just never did.
Yeah.
And now looking back, it's like, just do it. And it's like something that we, like, Che was talking about earlier. It's like, you know, like, you need to put yourself in new positions and new experiences in order to grow as a person. And I think I'm, like, kind of, like, hitting my stride later in life now that I'm not in that area. And I'm doing new things all the time. Like, that's how I got into stand-up comedy, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I just don't think I grew enough as a younger kid. And I think I would tell him just to try to do that more, I
Are
guess.
you comfortable with being uncomfortable now?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're stand-up comedians, so we just stand up and, like, that's it. We're used to being on the spot and just being like, oh, okay, well, I'm bombing.
Yeah, well, and then,
Right.
I say everybody should do stand-up because you get rejected so much.
Yeah.
It makes you, like, really build that thick skin. Be like, yo, if this is my dream, it's just got to be like a horse. You just put the blinders on and just boom. We only got a few minutes left. Anybody want to go around the room, maybe, like, just say any kind of New Year's resolutions that they are? I know it's the last one, so I'm like, I know I'm making you think 3 weeks early, and then we'll finish it off there.
I don't have any because I don't do them. I'm that person that doesn't do them.
Okay.
So if anybody else, I don't do New Year's resolutions.
You don't do a vision board.
Yeah, vision boards to me are different than New Year's resolutions.
That's a life resolution.
You know, you guys hated on white people earlier. You guys seem to do a lot of white people shit.
No, we're not hating on white people.
Nobody's hating on white people.
We're not hating on them.
No, because
we just have different culture we approach it.
You came here with a sandwich bag full of crocheted couples. All right?
Your mom, Camille.
Having a Whole Foods Thanksgiving.
Right?
Yeah, no, I have white family members. I love y'all. It's just some of them is just.
Wow, we sound like we don't like white people. That's our New Year's resolution. We need to make sure we don't sound like that.
Yeah. Dylan,
I love
you get us, right? We're not crapping on anybody. Okay, good. Good. All right. Any New Year's resolution or anything?
You know what? No.
Okay. Go Pale.
Not on the spot.
You know, I think I kind of just said it. You know, it's just like try to just be open to new experiences, put yourself farther. You know, I got a couple opportunities, hopefully, coming up that maybe they'll pan out, maybe they won't. You know, you know what our New Year's resolution should be, Che, is by December we should be in another country.
On our podcast, we talked about how he wants to go back to India because he's never been to India since he was adopted, and I haven't been to DR since I was basically kidnapped when I was 6. So we're like, we should go back to our home countries and get that experience. So we'll do that. We'll probably do that in 2020. Yeah, my thing is just to keep educating myself. That's all I'm gonna keep doing.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was a lot of fun. Happy New Year's and
thanks
all
for
the
having
best,
me, man.
man.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, anything you want to promote real quick? Your Kamak show, real quick.
No. There's I'm not with Kamak. anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can go Comedy on Kamak though. Hey, I used to run that show. It's still going on.
You guys want to promote anything real quick?
Yeah, happy 2020, y'all.
Yep.
All right, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to American Immigrant with your host and comedian, Che Guerrero. American Immigrant can be heard each and every Saturday afternoon from 5 to 6 p.m., as well as a rebroadcast of this episode every Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m., as well as Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m., right here on Usala Media.